So in our Nigerian and African culture, a lady is thrust into the marital pool as early as 16. Some cultures do it a little earlier, but I think that's a crime. We're not going to talk about that today. We'll revisit that on another episode. But today we're talking about the right age to get married. You know, when I was in my 20s, the idea, or a lot of my peers back then leaving University of Lagos was like, oh, now they're graduating in our 20s, we're like 22, 23. And the next thing is they're thinking of, when am I getting married? And I'm like, yo, seriously, like, what was all that? I don't get it. But anyway, I will tell you how that really worked out for me. However, today's episode is discussing what is the right age to get married. We're going to be showcasing or case studying some amazing individuals who just tied the knot, amazing celebrities within our community. And we'll be talking about their choice, you know, their journey, and of course looking at what it looks like in every season, especially for women. We'll also talk about the men in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. What is the best time for you to think about settling down? My name is Dr. Oyinka Solajinadu. Welcome back to Dr. OJ Speaks. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am so happy to have you. We are all happy to have you, literally. There's a lot of people around here. We love you. Please make sure before you leave us today, subscribe, turn your notification on because you definitely want to be in the know every week when we drop our episodes, Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. But most importantly, like this video, comment below, and share. There's love in sharing. There's no point. Just watch it and share so that you can have amazing, insightful conversations with your friends, of course. All right, guys, I will be right back to bring you the full episode. But before I leave, let me highlight and give a shout out to our sponsors, HD Pro Global Beauty and Career Institute. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. Make sure you go check them out, hdproglobal.com. They have amazing services, med spa related services, training, certification, coaching programs. I hear they even coach you on how to set up your own med spa business. So they have a beauty of business coaching masterclass you definitely want to take advantage of. All right, guys, I will be right back to talk about this age thing. They say age ain't nothing but a number, but who's counting? I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh no, oh no. She's old, yeah, yeah, yeah. So many of us got what to say, but we don't have the means, but we can listen, yeah. Things that we sharpen our vision, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah. Negativity getting out the way. By listening to us that we bring life, yeah. Plus it's like the voice of an angel, yeah. Dr. OJ, visionary, extraordinary. That burning like giving joy to the helpless. Oh, yes. With it in bringing life to the dream. That's all we, yeah, Ruby, and Sammy, and she's, oh yeah. Transforming one life at a time. With the best voice that you, Dr. OJ, keep on speaking for us. You're the voice you want to hear.
Welcome back, guys. So we're talking about the right age to get married. So I'm going to start with my own personal journey. You know, I mentioned in the intro about, you know, graduating and sort of castigating my peers for wanting to jump into that marital bliss that we're so programmed to be thinking about, especially as women. For me, it was very different. I was quite ambitious. Still am, extremely, actually. Always working. Oh my goodness, God help me. Anyway, not the point. But I was quite ambitious. I really wanted to see what was out there for me in the world and the things that I could accomplish. However, you know, the irony of life is the thing that you sort of, I guess, run away from, that's the thing that persists, or the things that you, I don't know. Anyway, you guys know the philosophy of manifestation and, you know, all of those things. But we're not talking about that today. It just so happened that I became one of the very first people to get married amongst my peers. I wondered how that happened. So I was married at age 25. I had my first kid at 27. And on it went. And of course divorced at, should I tell you? At 35, I think. I managed 10 years in that marriage. Oh my goodness, guys, listen. I say that with a lot of humor right now, but trust me, it's been a journey and a process to get to this point of being whole and okay with the fact that that part of my life happened, but now in this season, it's a new world. I'm so excited and looking forward to a future with an amazing partner because now at age 40 plus something, you don't need to know, at age 40 plus something, I am very aware of myself. I know who I am. I absolutely know the things that I want in a partner, the life that I want to build. But most importantly, I know what I don't want. Like the things I don't want, I know them. So when I see it, I'm able to be like, no, okay. And just being able to do that very decisively and very quickly too, with clarity, not with scorn or being mean or arrogant, but just understanding, making an educated decision at all times in every situation to say, you know what? This is not really for me. However, not that you're a bad person, but it's just not for me. And I'm able to easily pivot and walk away and focus on the next suitor who comes along. So that's just my own summary. But we're not talking about me today, or are we? Wait, guys, are we talking about me? We are? Sort of, because it's Dr. OJ Speaks. Okay, they said we're talking about me. So, but I don't want to focus the attention on myself. I want to talk about amazing individuals who were able to make the decision for themselves. But I don't know what you guys think, because for me, I can analyze that in my 20s, I was all over the place. I wanted to conquer the world. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to make money. I wanted to travel. And I got to do a lot of those things. And then along the way, it was like marriage came along, and I didn't give it a lot of thought. I didn't take a lot of ownership in my 20s. I did not know the impact of that decision on the rest of my life. It just felt like my parents okayed it, so it was the right move to make. And then I moved forward. And then going into my 30s, entering into this new space of now I'm a mom of children. Now I'm fully becoming a woman, as in really your 20s, you're not really a woman. You're a female adult, but you really enter into the psychology of womanhood, I believe, in your 30s. And then I started to think about purpose. I started to think about legacy. I started to think about the future. I started to think about companionship and friendship with my partner and how that was impacting my growth and my development. And if this person I was with was actually the person I would see myself in another 20, 30 years. Ironically, that awareness caused me to start to ask a lot of questions. And I think a lot of women find themselves in this place now in this generation where women in their 30s are doing amazing things. They're running companies, they're opening up businesses, they're doing phenomenally well financially, and they're pushing the society forward. And they're very, very sure of who they are. So it's becoming increasingly difficult for women to settle. And now we see an increase in the age range with which women end up settling down, because they're taking the time to put all of these things in place for themselves, knowing that I don't think it's the fact that we know we can't depend on our partner to do it for us. Of course, we're hoping that by the time we do settle down, he definitely brings a whole lot to the table to ensure that we all have the security that we need collectively. But I think a lot of women are taking the bull by the horn to say, I'm going to build my life, and then whoever comes in can sort of figure out a way to help me manage this or make it better, or we can kind of merge what it is that we have to make it bigger. I'm not into the feminist movement, or I'm not into the male chauvinist movement that says, well, now you're my wife, you're not going to work, and all of those things. You stay home, you raise the babies, you take care of the home. No. We're not doing that. We're in a society where we're all working collectively together to build as it fits our personal agenda. Because every family is different. Every relationship is different. So let's talk about age range. Let's talk about M.I. Abaga. He's a male. And he just got married in his 40s. Honestly, it's obvious that men in our generation have it a little bit tougher, to be very honest, because think about if you are doing an honest day's work, as in you're not cutting cutting corners and trying to, cook the books. If you are a young man in this society trying to build financial stability, which I believe and I subscribe to heavily, that a man has to stand well on his financial 2 feet, in fact 3, 4, 5 feet, before he even decides he wants to get out there and bring a woman into the situation. You have no business bringing a woman into a situation where you're not even able to cater for yourself. That's another topic. Finances, we'll talk about it another day. But M.I. Abaga just got married at the age of 40, and people are wondering why he had to wait so long. And I'm saying, why not? He had to figure himself out. He had to, I don't want to say sow his wild oats because I don't know him personally, but he had to grow into the man that he wanted to be in that marriage, I would assume. And I really applaud him for taking the time and not wasting some wonderful woman's time, getting married to her, making her miserable earlier on in his life, and then maybe now just deciding, oh, now he's a different person or whatever. I love the fact that he's taking the time that he did, and now in his 40s is hopefully financially secure, mentally, psychologically stable, and has the capacity to be a provider, protector, priest, and all of the wonderful things that he and his partner have agreed on him being as the leader of their household. So congratulations, M.I. Abaga, on your new nuptials. We are super proud and happy for you at Dr. OJ Speaks. I'm going to be back in the next half to talk about celebrities who are getting married later and why, the trend is kind of going, and why I think it's a better option for you to take your time to develop yourself in so many areas, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially, psychologically, career-wise, and so many other areas, even socially, having a balanced social life, emotional intelligence, very important for you before you jump into this thing called marriage, and why doing it later allows you to gather enough resources in all these areas to make your marriage last longer and be more successful. Stay tuned, I'll be right back.
My name is Dr. Ohikosola Jinadu. I'm a beauty professional, med spa operator, franchise owner, and director of education at HD Pro Global Beauty Institute and Body Med Spa. As a mother of 3 boys and immigrant business owner, it is important for me to have a steady and sustainable source of income that transcends economic, government, or public health uncertainties and instability like the global pandemic we are still recovering from. That is why HD Pro Global has created multiple systems that allows my team and I to train, educate, certify, and establish independent med spa operators like us all over the globe. For more information, check out our website to attend a free webinar to get started on your path to continuous success, no matter what is going on in your part of the world. I cannot wait to meet you. Thank you.
All right, guys, welcome back. This is Dr. OJ Speaks. I'm still here talking about this marriage age thing. So, Kemi Adetiba, this amazing director, phenomenal woman of media who just tied the knot less than a week ago, and just following, well, I think hers was after Rita Dominic's wedding. Rita Dominic tied her nuptials prior, I think the weekend before Kemi Adetiba's wedding, and now Kemi Adetiba just got married, and these 2 amazing media female powerful powerhouses, repetition, excuse the tautology in my speech right there, but it was necessary because these amazing women have done so well for themselves. They have built a lasting career. They have worked really hard. They have stayed away from let me just say scandals. At least I don't think I've really ever heard of any major scandal regarding Rita Dominic and Kemi Adetiba. Her work is exceptional. We are very well familiar with her, all of the movies that she has on Netflix and other platforms out there. So Kemi Adetiba gets married at 42 and Rita Dominic at 46. And of course, everyone is so happy and excited for them. Now, I don't know, is the excitement really about the fact that, oh, finally, or is it about we are really truly happy for you that you have made this choice and you are doing it the right way? Because we need to clarify what the excitement is about. Is it about the finally like, ooh, we didn't think this was going to happen for you, or the fact that we're really happy this is happening for you and we really believe in you being able to maintain this for the rest of your life? So I am happy for these two amazing women. I love women in media. I support them. But the part that I really resonate with is the fact that from my own personal experience and journey, I believe strongly that it's better off for you to marry later, because at that stage, at that season of your life, you know exactly what it is you want. You have come into your own. You have grown in so many areas, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, financially, hopefully, career-wise, you know exactly what path you're on. And socially, you have your social network. So when you go into a marriage, having those fully formed life pillars around you, it's easier. I don't want to say easier, but it's better for you as a person to immerse another human being into that. Because hopefully at that age, they also have built those pillars around their lives. And you guys are mishmashing your pillars around each other, and you both have a more solid foundation, whereby you're in a season that allows you to sort of smooth sailing into the future for you. You both know what you want. You have no point to prove to anybody. And most people who get married later, mentally, psychologically, are doing it for the absolute right reasons. It's not usually for the grams anymore. It's not usually for the family anymore, because at that point, the family already knows that, look, she's getting married this late, it's really on her own terms. He's getting married this late, it's really on his own terms. And they get to participate in that process. It's really not, they say, this wedding is for the family, or, like when you get married, when you get married younger, it's like the excitement is more for your parents. Like, it's like their pride and joy. You become like their trophy children who have done something that has finally made them proud. You did it quickly. Their friends were not waiting and wondering and asking unnecessary questions. And for them, it's like that moment where they're able to hold their head up and be like, "Ooh, our daughter is getting married," and things like that. So at that older time frame, it's more about the couple. It's really about their own decision on who they are, what they want, where they're going, and how they intend to build their families. I can say so much about this topic actually, but I don't want to overflood the issue. But on this episode, we want to congratulate Emma Yabaga, Rita Dominic, and Kemi Adetiba on your recent nuptials, and just really taking the leap and showing a good example, in my opinion, of what it really looks like to do it right. I'm not really looking at the details of their relationship, but I'm looking at the whole outcome of how everything ended up for all three of them. And I say, well done, guys. You guys have done good. And I wish you the very best on your journey. And I pray that, your marriages end up, for the lifetime that you have set out to accomplish. Alright guys, that's it from me. I don't know what your thoughts are on this matter. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. Like this video, share, and comment. And I will be back next week with another amazing discussion on Dr. OJ Speaks. My name is Dr. OJ. Don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification on, like, share, comment. This is Dr. OJ, the Med Spa Professor. See you next week. Bye guys.